We are 1 week away from the start of the NFL season, and a week from today, it's Eagles-Cowboys. And the Eagles are the defending champs. They got the best roster in the league. They're stacked, and nobody is talking about them. For some reason, it's all about the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones likes it that way. He loves it that way. By the way, do you guys remember what happened last year in the Eagles-Cowboys games? They met twice. Now, Dak missed both games, but let me just check here. Okay, 34-6 was the first one. That was the Eagles winning. And then it was 41-7. Jalen Hurts had a concussion, did not play. So it's a little early for math, but I'm 75-13. The Eagles smoked the Cowboys last year. It was not competitive in any way, shape, or form. Yet the media remains obsessed with the wretched, woebegone Dallas Cowboys. Why would that be? Well, wouldn't you know it, but yesterday, Micah Parsons, their star holdout, hold in, I don't know, showed up at an airport. Where's he going? Doesn't he have to go to practice? Well, Micah Parsons is going to get a second opinion on his back. There's Micah at the, I believe it's a Dallas-Fort Worth airport. You know, it's tough to miss Micah Parsons, a large individual. Somebody snapped this photo. And next thing you know, it's, wait a minute. So he's not going to be at practice this weekend? Pivotal practices right before the season? Well, that ain't good. Because we got everybody saying, it's going to be fine. He's going to show up. But it didn't stop there. Folks, Micah filed a grievance against the Cowboys over his fifth-year option. And it continued. The news in Dallas. Jerry Jones loves this, right? Jerry, we'll get to you in a sec, buddy. There's more. Micah Parsons' older brother went on social media yesterday. And I want to make sure I quote him correctly. It's gonna get ugly. Put your gloves on. This is going 12 rounds. Now, I don't know if he's talking about like a Jake Paul fight coming up or what's happening. Maybe it's his brother who's going toe-to-toe with Jerry Jones. And folks, the more I look at this, the more I just get disappointed and sad for Cowboys fans. Because without question, this is the most futile organization in the NFC. A staggering stat I'm sure you guys have seen. Since 2010, every team in the NFC has made the conference championship game. Yes, the pathetic Panthers, the sad sack Saints, they've made a conference championship game since 2010. There's only one team in the entire conference that hasn't. And if you look at the bottom of the screen there, it's the Dallas Cowboys. 1995 was the last time they made the conference championship game. 15 years behind everyone else in the conference. That, to me, is a very clear signal. Jerry Jones is not serious about actual football. The Eagles, who they're playing next Thursday, they're crushing free agency every year. They're crushing the draft. Howie Roseman is building a juggernaut. And Jerry Jones is out here creating reality TV shows. You've heard of Love Island? Cowboys, they got Star Island. Keeping Up with the Kardashians? What about Keeping Up with the Joneses? Yet somehow the media seems to think, wow, this happens every year. Here's Matt Mosley earlier this week talking about how, hey, Micah's going to be there week one.
Remember who Jerry is. And remember how much he loves the pageantry and the circus of all of this. And the last minute get the deal signed is kind of a fun thing for him. Dak got one of his deals done the morning of the first game. CD and Zeke's were done 4 or 5 days. Every one of these holdouts end in the Cowboys capitulating, right? I mean, name me one that they've won. Like, well, look at the Cowboys. They won this negotiation. Zeke, Zach, I mean, every CD, they all end in the deals getting done.
So the worst part is Jerry thinks this is good business because he's not serious about football. He's like, oh, our names are in the headlines. I mean, they play at a stadium called Jerry World. I mean, the guy's obsessed with himself. That's not going to translate to building a contender in the modern era. It's not going to happen. And on top of all this, there was a couple reports saying, well, wait a minute, the Green Bay Packers are interested in Micah Parsons. And everybody gets all excited about that. I'm like, whoa. Let's pause for a sec. That ain't happening. I mean, Jerry, there's no way he's trading Micah. We all know and think, yeah, he's going to cave at the last minute because that's what he does. He chickens out, he talks a tough game, and then chickens out and signs a deal. So here's Tyler Dunn talking about Jerry's history with his stars recently.
This is headed toward opening night. Jerry Jones is going to know all eyes are on the NFL, his NFL. He's the most powerful person in the NFL. And then that's when the news breaks. They don't care about winning. They just don't. If the Dallas Cowboys prioritized winning, they would have locked up Dak a year ahead of time, CD Lamb a year ahead of time, Micah Parsons a year ahead of time. They just jerk around their best players because they can. They think they're the smartest people in the room. They don't modernize the franchise. And if you're a Cowboys fan out there, I don't know. I guess the only thing you can do is not show up to the stadium.
And that's why I say, Jerry's kind of unserious about the actual football product. I don't think he cares. He says, well, I want to win a Super Bowl. But the actions are not backing that up. And it's got to be disappointing if you're a Cowboys fan. So let me address one of the points that Dunn made yesterday, because a lot of people out there are thinking, hey, actually, Jay, Jerry Jones has a point. Micah's under contract for 3 more years. He's got to show up and play. And that's not how it works. I'm going to turn back to 2021. Okay, that's when Micah Parsons was drafted. I remember that draft fondly because as a Jets fan, all season leading up to that, we were in position to get Trevor Lawrence. I was so geeked, all excited, and then the Jets, like morons, end up beating the Rams. I believe it was out here at SoFi in December, cost themselves Trevor Lawrence and have to settle for Zach Wilson. We know Zach Wilson. I think he's working at a coffee bean out here in Los Angeles. However, that draft had a lot of other good players who went in the first round. And we just so happen to have a full screen of those 2021 draft picks. Take a look at the final column. Did they sign their extension? These are all guys drafted the exact same day as Micah Parsons. Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville got his extension. It's done. No drama. Jamar Chase, arguably the best receiver in the league, got it done. No drama, no holdouts, no headlines. Jalen Waddle, Miami, got his deal. Penei Sewell, the great offensive lineman in Detroit. J.C. Horn, who's been injured a ton, and Carolina still got his extension done. Patrick Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Devontae Smith of the Eagles. Boy, Eagles, Cowboys. Hey, Devontae Smith in Micah's draft class got his extension. Guys, I had to look this up. 17 months ago. He got his extension. He was drafted the same day as Micah Parsons. And we all say the Eagles are the most well-run organization in the NFL right now. He got his deal done. And you look at the very end of that list, and there's a gentleman named Rashawn Slater who went to the Chargers. Okay? July 27th, this summer, Rashawn Slater, 4-year, $114 million deal. Chargers locked him up. Great contract for an offensive lineman. Less than 2 weeks later, he tears his patella tendon out for the season. But guess what? Because he got extended, he doesn't have to worry about anything. Can you imagine the panic Rashawn Slater would have right now if he were playing for the Cowboys and Jerry was jerking him around and then he tears his patella tendon in practice and he's out for the year? But, bro, you didn't get your extension. You just cost yourself a ton of money. He got taken care of. No worries, Slater. Hey, man, get healthy. You don't have a damn thing to worry about. We don't need you to rush back because you got paid. We want you to come back fully strong next season. Easy. Well, enter Micah Parsons. He doesn't have his extension. You really think Micah Parsons wants to go out there and play and jeopardize an injury like Slater with no security? And don't tell me, well, he's got the 5th-year option or they can franchise tag him. That ain't security. Security is a 4-year deal with $91 million guaranteed, which is what Slater got. And Jerry, for some reason, is reluctant to give him that money. And at the bottom of that full screen graphic, I don't know if we can get it again, our guys put it in gold lettering, okay? Of all those guys that got their extensions, Micah Parsons is the only player in this draft to have 3 All-Pro seasons. So you could argue, Jamar Chase has been great. Sewell's been awesome. Micah Parsons has been the best player from his draft. That's a legitimate, credible argument. And I know, hey, Jay, what's he done in the playoffs? Okay, guys, what's Trevor Lawrence done in the playoffs? Penei Sewell, how did he do against Washington? Patrick Surtain. Like, you could play that game all day. But the reality is Jerry Jones is just unserious about football. He doesn't truly care about winning because if he did, his actions would align with the smarter teams in the league, like the Philadelphia Eagles, who they're going to be playing next Thursday. Now, the spread for that is 7. I would not be surprised if that ticked up to 7.5 as we get closer. It's increasingly looking like Micah Parsons is not going to play. His brother's on social media. He's at an airport. Micah's getting a second opinion on his back. This is headed toward disaster if Jerry doesn't step in, say, hey, okay, just kidding. We had a lot of fun with that. Now, let's get down to football. Let's get down to brass tacks. Because you got to be disappointed if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan with how Jerry has handled this.